Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present second round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Moving into the second round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. And Frank, you can feel the pressure building.
You certainly can, Rich, and I expect that we're going to see more of what we saw yesterday, which is some fearless golf. And these guys are playing for a PGA Tour card, and they're not backing down.
We're off and running here, and let's take you down to the action at hole number 1. Getting ready to tee off, coming off a solid first round. Let's see if our featured golfer can conjure up some of that magic here in round number 2, Frank.
Oh, if this is up, it's good.
Just an ideal lie, Frank. What can he do from here?
Well, if he takes advantage of the tee shot now and goes at this flag, then he'll certainly gain on the field.
This is a good-looking shot. This hole really sets up well for the player. Birdie yesterday, and a chance for another one today. This for another birdie on this hole on the week. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
That's a solid par putt. Well, nice scoring opportunity here. 532-yard par 5 second hole, Frank. Considered one of the easier holes on the golf course. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you can just cut this in half. 532 yards divided by 2. Really, it's 2 tee shots over 260 yards. For these guys, nothing more than a 3 or 4 wood. And that's why all you need off the tee is just a 3 wood with a little draw.
You disappointed if you don't make 4 here?
Not disappointed, but obviously you lose at least half a shot on the field.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. And rolls it in. Nice putt. Frank, a nice mix of holes to start. So here we go with a par 3 at the third.
Very narrow at the front of the screen, and that bunker too, you don't actually see it off the tee, the back left bunker, and it sneaks into that left side. So if that flag is on the left, just be careful.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the fourth. Even par through the early portion of this second round. What are some keys for the day in order to set himself up for success?
Well, I think take advantage of some of the short par 4s out here, Rich. You're going to have a wedge in your hand. The shots that you could pretty much guarantee you can get inside 15 or 20 feet. You know there's a bunch of opportunities.
Frank, the second here at the fourth is a dangerous shot.
Once again, this is another example of where you have to look at the green. Where exactly is the flag? If it's on that high portion, you've got to fly it all the way back.
About 18 feet away with a decent look.
It's that sneaky distance.
Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
Good roll. Solid. That's a par. Frank, how about this par 4 fifth?
I lost count the number of bunkers here, off the tee and sort of in play with the second shot if you're in trouble, or even the one that's sort of left and long. Really good par 4, though. Fairway somehow has to be achieved if you want to reduce this par 4 to just a simple two-shotter.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway.
Second shot. This is not heading in the right direction.
You know, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. And it makes the green in regulation. This one just requires a little bit of focus. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round.
Just dwindling the holes down. Pars are fine right now.
Another shortish par 4, the 393-yard par 4 sixth. Frank, what's the challenge here?
Well, there's 2 bunkers down the left, but that's not really the problem. If you hug that left side, there's palm trees that come into play on that second shot. Well, it's going to take a good one here, considering what they've already gone through, Rich. Right now, that green is going to look very small, so it's going to take a good shot here to give himself an opportunity.
Some really poor play to this point. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but the short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Good putt. Seventh hole here at TPC Sawgrass generally plays into the wind, one of the stadium course's most difficult greens to hit, Frank.
It's a really weird tee shot here. You have those 3 little pot bunkers down the right, and then that bunker that meanders once again all the way down the left side. The bunker that's just slightly right of the canal. Very awkward angle off the tee.
Frank, you've been there. What's the best way to approach this next shot at the 7th hole?
There's a lot of mounding on this 7th green, to the right and the left. You can use those mounds to kick the ball to the flag.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. It's a master class in short game. How did that not go in?
That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. Well, not going to make par here. He needs this to only give up 1. Well, that's why you build a big lead. You can afford to drop 1 or 2.
Well, it's hard to criticize a player for being sloppy when the lead is that big.
TPC Sawgrass, the fabled stadium course designed by the legendary Pete Dye. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. And here at the 8th, Frank, most players are happy walking out of here with a par 3.
And the reason why, it's a very narrow entry to this green. It's just littered with bunkers around, left, behind, to the side, and even short. Once you get further up the green, though, even though this is sort of an undulating green, it starts to widen up. So don't get trapped into just looking at the front of this hole.
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the course.
He'll take par and move on. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 ninth?
Just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2, but you can make an absolute mess here at 9.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Frank, when you think layup shot on a par 5, you think it's easy. This isn't necessarily that simple, is it?
Now, you've got to keep the ball to the right. Otherwise, those overhanging limbs on those trees on the left, they become havoc.
That will be a great look at birdie. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Let's get the back 9 started here at the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass and break down the 10th for us, Frank.
Well, it's similar to the opening hole. The first and 10th give you the same feeling where you feel awkward off the tee shot. Difference to the first hole, you've got to poke your tee shot towards the right side of the fairway here, turning it into a dog leg. And similar thing, now you're going back across the fairway to the green.
Second shot now at the 10th, and again, Frank, accuracy is at a premium.
Yeah, gone are the days to sort of thrash it out of the trees like Phil Mickelson. Ideally, coming out of that fairway, you're hitting to a green that moves to the right, so that makes it a little bit more difficult than what the mind's eye first sees. Safely on the dance floor.
A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
All right, hole number 11 here at the TPC Sawgrass, 558-yard, par 5, no shortage of options, no shortage of hazards, Frank.
If there's one hole at TPC Sawgrass where you can literally leap out of your shoes, this is it.
Set for his next shot from a good position in the fairway. Frank, as we watch the Web.com Tour Finals, anyone in particular you think could be a breakout star? Someone like a Keegan Bradley who jumped right out onto the PGA Tour and won the PGA Championship in his first ever start in a major.
Well, this player that I'm looking at right now, yes, and I mean you out there. Look at that. A prodigy since the age of 2. A lot of people in the golf world have just been waiting for you to finally get to this point. And, well, time for me to watch, time for you to play.
This for another birdie on this hole on the week. Right off the edge. Wow.
That hurts.
Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. Now to the par 4 12th, and it's a pretty short hole, Frank.
Yeah, Pete Dye often doesn't get enough credit for his short par 4s. This is a great example where one of the features of it is the blind second shot, just to give you a little bit of doubt on judging the distance.
That's in the fairway. Now the approach to the 12th, Frank. What's the player looking at?
Well, it's a fun shot here for the second shot, especially if you've driven it down the right side, because then you can see the flag no matter where it is on the green.
Early part of this second 9, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. This one measures out to 15 feet. So the dominant performance continues.
Yeah, we're watching 2 tournaments right now, the one at the top and the rest.
One of the great things about this golf course, Frank, a variety of par 3s, different yardages. Here at the 13th, 181-yard par 3.
Yeah, this is where you have to be careful on the tee there. Anything left's just going to be eaten up by that lake. Matter of fact, if you hit one with a little bit of a hook and it catches the mound, it can still kick into the lake. So this one here, just be a little cautious on the tee.
Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. Can't wait to write those on the card. 1 below par. Chalk it up. It's a birdie. Frank Tiger certainly had his adventures here at 14.
Well, we'll never forget that. Spun it left. In the end, was very, very lucky to get away with 6. Had it been 7, Garcia might have just caught him at the post, but he will, and we will, never forget 14. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Not what he wanted, but he's headed to the beach. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
You really have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in. Oh, good solid stroke there. No sign of nerves on that.
Now to the 15th, and Frank, I know this is a hole that you really like.
Yeah, it gets no respect in my book, which I think is a shame. Just a nice dogleg to the right. And really 2 good shots and a 3 here, which is actually a rarity. It sets you up for those closing 3 holes. Too often people just take 15 lightly. And 15 has just a gentle nibble that turns into a bite.
Frank, as players get set to make that next step, to graduate to the PGA Tour, what part of their game has to really be sharp?
Well, nowadays, all the players are powerful, so you're looking for other things rather than straight power. And one of those things is adaptability. When you get out there on that first year on the PGA Tour, remember, you're going to be playing these venues for the very first time against people that have played it 10, 15 times, perhaps, so they have an advantage. So you're going to have to adapt very, very quickly and put the time in.
And drops it in. Frank, I think one of the things that fans love about this gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18, each hole has that sort of hold your breath moment. Certainly 17, we know when that ball's in the air, you're holding your breath. Is it wet or dry? 16, same on that second shot. You're holding your breath wondering, where is it? Right in the water or left with a chance for 3?
That's why you don't want to get too sloppy on that tee shot. A lot of people look at 16 because there's a wide fairway and they think just get it down there. But the extra 10 or 15 yards, there's a little ridge down that left side. If you catch that, the ball will kick a good 20 yards further forward. 20 yards is too close. I'd much rather go into 17 with a 4-iron than a 2-iron.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. The bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Putting on a show, this tournament moves to 15 under par. Frank, how early in the round are you thinking about the shot at 17?
Well, when you're playing well, you're pushing it ahead. Maybe you don't think about it till 14 or 15. If you're struggling, you might be thinking it early as the 5th or the 6th hole. But put it this way, when you make the walk from 16 to 17, you are thinking of it every inch of the way.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie.
Once talked about a golfing prodigy. We're starting to see the real talent come out now. Birdie putt here. Gain a stroke and move one step closer to the PGA Tour.
Oh, I thought he had that. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now to the final hole here at TPC Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4. Frank, is this one of the toughest finishing holes in the sport?
It is, because the simple reason you've played 17 holes and the job isn't done yet.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Well, Frank, you want to finish it off in style. The approach here to the final hole.
You'd take anything that lands in the middle of this green. Mind you, Hal Sutton, be the right club. Hard to forget that. Even Adam Scott, remember his first big championship win all those years ago. 3-iron from the middle of the fairway, wet. Still managed to make 5, which was enough to win. But such a daunting second shot.
So he didn't hit the green in regulation, but he still has a reasonably good chance to save his par, about 10 feet away. Nothing wrong with that par putt.
Well, Rich, 2 rounds in the books, and it's easy to see why the leaders are on top of that leaderboard.
Excellent performance, but still a long ways to go in this tournament.